the marketing aspect of your career is super big, right? Like, that's looking at your social media, it's rollouts, it's picking the singles. Like, it's a real hands-on job, and you gotta really have chemistry with who you working with too, to really be able to do your job the best.
Let's talk about your iconic post when you had all your orders on the ground around you. Like, what are those moments like as an entrepreneur? Because like you say, you at one point you couldn't even afford to buy more than a certain amount. So what are those moments like when you sitting and you watching everything that you ever dreamed of right there?
Yeah. You know, it's kind of crazy because it's like at that time I was seeing everybody else post like that, and I was like, I'm going to be that girl one day. Like, that's going to be me eventually. And I can't wait till that's me. And that was like all I wanted to get to. And then I got to it, and I was tired. I was exhausted. And don't get me wrong, I was happy. I was so appreciative because I was like, I've really built this business from the ground up, you know? And then the other side of that was just like figuring out where to scale to. So like I was just kind of always on the next thing. And I think a lot of times in my business, I didn't get the chance to sit and just be happy for what I had in that moment. Because I was always so busy on the next thing, and I was always just tired and exhausted. A lot of times when I took those pictures, it'll be after hours of packing orders myself. And a lot of people don't talk about that side of entrepreneurship, you know, of like just having to sit in the house for hours and pack orders, or like having to figure stuff out, being behind on orders, like that type of stuff. So it was kind of like it was a good moment for sure, because I finally got to where I was trying to get to. And then it was like, okay, now you got to keep this business afloat. Like, it's very easy to start a business. It's very hard to maintain a business. And that was something I really learned during those times, definitely.
So how do you learn to adjust? Because all that is you learning on the fly. You know what I'm saying? Learning how to accept those orders, learning how to package those orders, get those orders out as soon as possible. So how do you maintain the focus of, like you say, maintaining this business when you up at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. and you just got done and you got to wake up at 8 to send these packages off? How do you maintain
and that was pretty much my day.
How do you maintain that mind state of, okay, this is what I asked for, I got to make this happen?
It's honestly discipline. It's really discipline. Something that I always preach is like, you're not always going to be motivated, but you'll always have your discipline. And that's what like kept me afloat, honestly, and still keeps me afloat to this day. Is really just having the discipline instilled in me of like, okay, you got to get this done. But then I'm also learning that I have to make time to grow my business, like, and that's what I've been doing the past couple of months, that I've been kind of like taking a break away from my lash brand, is I've been doing a lot of research. Like, I've been learning ways to scale my company. And a lot of times we get so wrapped up in working in our business, and that's kind of what I was doing. It's like every day I'm working in the business, I'm packing orders, I'm doing customer service, I'm making sure I post on the internet, and I'm not doing anything to scale the brand up higher to the next level. And because that takes a different type of amount of work. That's research. That's me sitting, learning about TikTok. Who are the influencers on YouTube right now? Who is it that I could do a collaboration with? Like, that takes sitting down and really just putting your time into literally doing research and development, versus me sitting there packing orders. Or you need to get to the point where you can hire somebody to do most of the working in your business while you work on the business and taking it to new levels. And so I really had to learn the difference in between that. And that's helped me a lot. Like, now that I've been taking a break and I've been able to sit back and just do that, that's helped me a lot for sure.
With you doing so many things, like, do you have, like, on Monday, I'm just going to only focus on this. On Tuesday, I'm going to focus on this. Like, how do you break your days down with so much going on?
That's kind of what I do. I look at the week, and then I'll say, like, okay, on Monday, I'm going to focus on my lash brand. On Tuesday, I'm going to focus on Flex. On Wednesday, I'm going to focus on this. So I usually try to break the week up based on what I got ahead of me. And then I'll say, okay, on this day, we're going to do this and just this. That's what you're going to focus on. That's all you see on this day. Like, I got to really constantly tell myself that a lot of the time, because I get distracted. But now, like, this year, honestly, I really kind of, like, set the tone for the year of it's only a few things I'm focusing on. Like, with me having my lash brand, now I'm kind of navigating, away from just being a lash brand owner to being a marketing strategist, because that's what I really want. Like, eventually I want to have a real marketing agency. And so it's like I'm kind of stepping a foot out of my business just a little bit to kind of really focus and work on that while I'm still growing my business though, and giving it attention and everything. But just working towards like my long-term goals has been really taking a lot more of my attention this year too.
All right, now you spoke on Flex. Now, how do you go from running your lash company to now doing marketing and managing artists?
That was a big leap. That was a really big leap. And at first it was real kind of like a little confusing. And now I feel like I kind of got it figured out, because it's like, yeah, I have my lash brand, but that's not all I am. I really learned that I didn't want to own a lash brand forever. Right. Like, I didn't want that to be my title forever. I learned that in running my lash brand, what I really enjoyed the most was marketing. And so that was where I was like, okay, I do want to be a marketing strategist, but I have this business and I love this business. Still, it's like my baby and I want to grow it and everything, but I want to move on to other things that also fulfill me as well. So it's really kind of like, it's a little bit, it's different. It's complex, because it's kind of like one day I'm looking at beauty stuff and YouTubers, and then the next day I'm looking at rollout campaigns, and I'm listening to music and trying to pick out singles and stuff like that. So it's kind of like two different worlds. But then I just learned like these are just the two things that I really love and enjoy. So now it's starting to kind of come natural to me, honestly. And I honestly think a lot of things I learned in my business are helping me now. Like, I learned about social media and algorithms, and like I learned a ton of stuff about marketing. And so, like, even just an example of that, when me and Flex had the Glory Road pop-up shop, when we had the pop-up shop maybe back in December, it was a lot of things that I was able to apply to helping him put the pop-up shop together that I learned from my lash brand. Right. And just helping him with his own brand from me having a business and having a Shopify and stuff like that. So, like, I really think that my lash brand kind of helped prepare me for a lot of the stuff that I'm going into now and that I'm kind of transitioning into.
Do you think is more beneficial for you to be extremely hands-on? Because like you say, you choosing singles, you helping with rollouts, you basically sound like a record label to me. So is it more better for you to be more hands-on with it than to be, laid back and just saying, oh, you should do this, you should do this?
Yeah, I have to be extremely hands-on, like super hands-on. And it's kind of like for me to do what I do, like me and Flex talk every day. And any artist I work closely with, like me and Blessing, we talk a lot all the time. I have to talk to them and work with them so much just because the marketing aspect of your career is super big, right? Like, that's looking at your social media, it's rollouts, it's picking the singles, like, it's a real hands-on job, and you gotta really have chemistry with who you working with too to really be able to do your job the best. Like, that was something I learned over the past 2 years of me working with Flex. Is like, in the beginning, it was kind of like I was just helping him with his Instagram, and then now it then transitioned into like an overall marketing managing role, just of like me helping with clothes and like me helping with campaigns and rollouts. Is way bigger than social media, right? It's kind of like your overall marketing of everything you're doing in your career. And so, yeah, it really does cause me to be hands-on. And like we disagree on stuff all the time. He don't always be with the stuff that I'm with. I don't always be with stuff that he's with. And so it definitely requires a lot of communication and a lot of like sometimes stepping out of your comfort zone to get stuff done.
Now, me personally, I've been in tune with Flex for a very long time. I like to say from the beginning. Now, but I have seen a drastic difference in, like, I would say his audience. Like, it seemed like more people are aware of Flex now, and it seemed like over the past 2 years, you'd be like, man, all these people, I know for a fact y'all seen Flex. Y'all, it's impossible not to have seen this man. But now you seeing these people that basically was ignoring him 2-3 years ago. Now they are in his comments. They liking and sharing all his content. And like Lil Baby just dropped 2 singles. He teased one of the videos, you know what I'm saying? But he basically just dropped these 2 songs out the blue. And I like to see, I see a lot of that in Flex with how he's dropping his music now. He's not telling you it's coming, not telling you a release date, none of that. He literally posting a little snippet on IG, and then you wake up one morning and it's out. But you see the gradual difference in Flex and how he presents his music to the people. It's a little bit more polished now.
Yeah.
So would you say that polish came from you?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that in a way. When I met him, he was lit already in my eyes. Like, he was definitely lit. And what we kind of met at was like, I was like, I really like what you got going on. And this is where I see I could add value at. And it was like, when I met him, he probably only had 4 or 5 pictures on his Instagram. He was not like, and he's still not an internet person either, but he was not like super internet. And we wasn't doing things the same way that we're doing it now. And so I would say that's probably where my touch comes in at like presentation. And like, I'm a real person, like I believe in leading with mystery. So I might kick off a rollout where we might say question mark, question mark, question mark, like just to get people in tune. But all of that stuff will be planned and strategized. But it's planned in a way to get people to look at us and to get attention. So I would say, I added a little touch to him.
Now, I know clients reach out to you, but how picky are you with actually who you work with?
These days, right now, I am super picky. Last year, I was kind of on this thing of where I was like working with, I ain't gonna say anybody, but like it wasn't hard to get me to work on something with you. Like I had a fee, you pay my fee, and we worked out whatever we was gonna work out. This year, I really have my things that I really want to focus on and work on building, because I feel like when you touch too many things and you're working on too much at once, you give in 10%, 10%, 10%, when if you was to focus on 1 or 2 things, you could give those 100%. And so that's kind of like the mode I'm in right now. So right now I'm not working with like any other artists outside of Flex, outside of Blessing, and a few people that's like really close with me. And then as far as like marketing and stuff, I only offer 1 hour consulting now. So no more social media management, no rollout campaigns. Like you can't really book any of that stuff right now, at least, just because I want to focus on building up my lash brand. I want to focus on building up their careers. And that's like really just what I want to work on for like the next year or 2. Because I feel like once I could say I did it, versus as like, I can't really do a lot of the things I want to do right now because I don't think I have the credibility just yet. Like, I'm still kind of like learning in a sense, and I'm just self-aware enough to acknowledge that. And I'm like, once I say like, I've done this, that, and the third, then I have that credibility and I could go on and really build a big agency because I'll have that experience pretty much, So yeah, right now you can't really book too much. You can get me on the phone for an hour, but that's pretty much about it.
It's crazy that you say that because now, like you spoke on influencers earlier. Now, if you go on YouTube, more than likely you're going to see an ad of somebody that's trying to sell you something, and they trying to get every dollar in their pocket that they can to the point that they renting out penthouses, they renting out Lamborghinis just to stand in front of them. And you had you saying, nah, I'm going to step back and I'm going to redefine myself and I'm going to polish myself to the point that basically it's undeniable of what I've done. Like, where did that mindset come from? Because like I say, a lot of people just give me your money, let's make it happen. But it seemed like you more of the, I want to create things that the world falls in love with more than getting a money grab.
Yeah, it's really like I just took a step back of what I wanted out of my career. Like, I know I want to have a great marketing agency one day. And I timed that to happen around the age of 30, 31. I'm 26 right now. And so that gives me 4 or 5 years. And it's like, I'm not in a rush to do that because at 30, I'm going to still be young, And I feel like that's when I've had the experience that I need to have what I see having. Like, I look at what I want to have like as a Rock Nation or almost like a label. And that's something that takes time and foundation. It's like, I could rush it now and I could charge people $1,000+ to do rollouts and to do X, Y, and Z. Or I could work on the things that I really, really genuinely believe in and build them up and actually feel more fulfilled at the end of the day. And that was kind of like what my choices were. And look, over the years, so like I had been working on stuff, like a whole bunch of different projects with people, and I just didn't feel fulfilled though. Like it wasn't, everything I was working on wasn't things that I believed in. And I'm like, I want to go home happy at the end of the day. Like it's, yeah, you got to make some money, and I'm always make some money because I'm a hustler, but I'm not going to you can't think about the money when it comes to your long-term goals. Because at the end of the day, like I could keep doing that and giving 10% to everything, I'm going to be stuck right there. When if I build what I believe in already and I build that up to be something so great, then I could do what I want to do.